when I was a kid and I was growing up and I said I wanted to be a pro skateboarder when I grew up, like people laughed at me. Like teachers thought I was stupid.
But you're stubborn though, you know.
But I'm stubborn, you know, and so I'm gonna make it happen. My name's Nathan Vitale. I'm from Spokane, Washington, and I skateboard.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the pod, man. I appreciate you coming through.
Well, thanks for having me.
Hell
I'm glad to be here.
How long have you been skating? Jump into it.
I have been skating, it's hard to remember like the years, probably like 16 or 17 years.
Nice.
I picked up a board for the first time just to like ride it when I was like 5. And then I got really into it when I was like 8 or 9. And then I got even more into it when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I'm 24 now. So
okay.
It's been a long time.
Nice, yeah. And what made you want to get more into it to the point where you're like, I'm going to take this seriously at a competitive level, or just take it seriously that you wanted to get so good that, like what made that happen? What do you think?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think skateboarding was just like the most mesmerizing thing growing up. Like when I saw it for the first time at like a really high level, I was like, that is the coolest thing you could ever do. And I was just like, I want to do cool stuff like that. And then when I moved to Virginia when I was 12, I moved away from all my friends. And I didn't really have many friends, and all I really had was a skate park like a mile down the road. And I was like, I'm just gonna go hang out there. I'm sure I'll make friends. I'm sure I'll get better at skateboarding. I'll have a good time. And then that's how it worked out. And super happy about that. I miss that park too.
Okay, yeah. Virginia? Where was that at?
It was Blacksburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Where Virginia Tech is.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a sick park.
How long have you been back here in Spokane?
I've lived in Spokane for a majority of my life. Okay. I lived in Michigan for a year when I was like 3 years old. I lived in Blacksburg for a year when I was 12. I moved to Washington, D.C. for like not even very long. I've taken vacations longer than how long I technically moved to Washington, D.C. when I was a junior in high school, but every other time I've just lived in Spokane.
Was your family in the military or?
My dad was in the military.
Okay. Air Force?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
He's in the Air Force.
What did he do?
He's a SEER instructor.
Cool. Badass.
So he kind of moved around a little bit, but my parents separated when I was a teenager, so that didn't really affect too much. My dad would just go wherever he needed to go. I would just stay with my mom.
Spokane or where? Yeah. Wherever.
Yeah, but that's why we ended up in Spokane. It was from him doing the SEER stuff.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. Survive, escape, resist, evade. Is that SEER? Nice. Yeah, that's pretty badass. What's the skate culture community like here in Spokane? Would you say?
I'd say
decent, or
I'd say it's pretty cool. I think we got a good little community. We definitely do some things. Like every year we do WRTC, and that's like a video contest where you have like 48 hours to film the video. So it starts on a Friday, and then you have Friday night to like begin filming. You have all of Saturday to film, and then a little bit of Sunday if you're really trying to push it. But you have to have your video done by Sunday. Then we all meet up, we all do a video premiere, we watch everybody's videos from the weekend, and
hell yeah.
People will like get money and prizes and stuff like that. And
nice. What skate shop is that at?
It's like it's kind of everybody comes together for that.
Okay.
Like Pistols do stuff for it. Paradigm will do stuff for it. Some of the board companies like Space Program.
A space program. Yeah. Okay, cool.
The Great PNW does like a lot of stuff for it too, and just gets everybody involved and super excited about skateboarding. I think that's like one of the coolest things we do. It's very like unique. It's kind of similar to like, have you ever seen King of the Road?
No.
So King of the Road is kind of like it's a Thrasher thing, and they get like a booklet with like a bunch of different challenges, and like
Tight.
there's points connected with the challenges and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, really
and
making a game out of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's silly, but it's sick.
Yeah,
it's really
making
cool.
it fun and shit too. I mean, people participate and stuff and bring the community together. So is there an organization that puts that together, or it's just like everyone comes in, that's what it's called?
No, it's just like all the people that are connected with all the different skateboard related stuff just came up with the idea. Like, I think it's been going on for like over 10 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like it's deeply rooted within the skateboard culture as far as Spokane goes. Like, people will like travel in for it. Like, people will come over from Portland and Seattle and like just to come skating it. It's pretty fun.
It's awesome. So where does that go down? It's like everywhere, and then y'all meet up downtown,
anywhere.
Or everywhere? Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're running amok.
Spokane wide. That's sick.
Every August.
Okay.
August or September, it normally happens.
Awesome.
We're running amok.
Man, I'm gonna have to cover that. Like, keep my eye out.
Yeah,
Do some more interviews.
Anybody can come to the premiere. It's sick.
I'm gonna have to come through. Definitely.
It's a lot of fun.
So what's your future looking like for this year? Do you got some events planned besides that, or?
I have a couple different things. I am taking a San Francisco trip in May. And then we're gonna do another East Coast trip. Right now we're filming for a video for Space Program, my board sponsor. We're just trying to figure out where we want to go so we can get, a lot of footage for this video. So I know we're going to San Francisco. We're going to do an East Coast trip where I think we'll probably do like New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. I go to Portland a bunch. I hop over there. That's where Sebastian, the dude that runs Space Program, he lives. So I go visit him quite a bit. And it's just a really fun place to skate. And as far as trips go, that's all I really think I have planned for the rest of the year. I'd love to go to spend some time in New York. That's like my favorite place to skate. So
Hell yeah.
a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, I've never been myself. But
Really? You gotta go.
I have to. Yeah, it's on the
gotta
bucket
go.
list for sure. That and Tokyo and stuff like that.
Tokyo is definitely on the list. That would be sick.
Yeah, it's
I
a
gotta
sick
get my
city.
passport though.
Oh, really? I got mine. Yeah, I'm trying to get out there for sure.
That would be so
Get
fun.
out of the country. Have you ever been out of the country to skate or otherwise?
No, not to skate. I've only been to Canada. I went
Yeah,
to
it counts.
Canada when I was like a kid.
Nice.
And,
Yeah. Whereabouts?
I have no idea.
Oh,
like
cool.
literally like just a little bit north of the border. Like
Oh, yeah.
not even that deep in. But yeah, I want to go. We were supposed to go to Barcelona this year. That was supposed to be like our big trip. We were going to go to Barcelona and Copenhagen. But then like we have like quite a few people on Space Program. There's probably like over 10 people. And like trying to get everybody's schedules at the same time and like organizing tickets and everybody's got to get their stuff sorted out was kind of a challenge. So we were like, let's split the trips up, and then like if people want to go on this trip, they can go on that trip. If people want to go on this trip, they can go on that trip. So it didn't work out, but I'm still holding out hope that I'll get to go to Barcelona. That's like the best place for skateboarding.
Really? Are there some like iconic spots over there too?
So many iconic spots. And it's just like the architecture is just seems like it's just built for skateboarding. And it's really sick.
That's awesome.
So everybody goes over there. It's the place to be.
Barcelona, huh?
Barcelona.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, you've been in some magazines too, huh? Featured in a few.
Yeah, I just got in Thrasher for my first time. I got on the contents page, which is like where you figure out like what the trick is on the cover. It's like 3 pages in.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
Congratulations.
Like, if you're not gonna get the cover of the mag, I guess like the contents page is like the next best thing.
Yeah, right.
So it was like pretty insane. Like I went from just never even being close to being in Thrasher, and then I just woke up one morning and my friend Jeremy texted me,
dream.
and he just freaking had the mag open. He's like, "Dude, you're on the contents page," and I was like, "What?" Like I was just blown away, and yeah, it worked out pretty sick.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you, man.
Was that organic, or do you have like someone like an agent or your board sponsor like pushing for that stuff?
So what happened was I was in Portland, and there's a Thrasher photographer out there. His name's Joe Brook. He's like legendary photographer. He's like also just the nicest human ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was staying with Sebastian, and there's the spot that I was skating. It's called Unitas. There's a nickname for it called Magic 5.
The Magic 5. Okay, now we're talking. I love it.
Right, and me and Sebastian were like walking around. It was like one of my first times like actually skating Portland in depth, and Sebastian was like showing me around. He was like, "Oh, we should go check out Unitas," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And we were just skating around. There's like a 5-stair there, some ledges. Like it's more of like a hub spot where like people meet up, I assume, and like just dink around and have fun. But there's like this huge sign going off of the front stairs. It's like a double set, and it says Unitas. And I was like, the ledge I always skate at Albie's like this high, and it's like my favorite thing to skate at the park. And it's like this sign was like literally the Albie ledge, but like in the streets and like off a drop. And I was like, oh, like I think I could do this. So me and Sebastian like went there at night, and I like tried the trick that I wanted to try, and I got like really close. I did like a shitty version of it, and then I was like, oh dude, like I think I could do this. And then Sebastian was like, yo, like I have Joe Brook's number, like you should like tell him like you're gonna do this trick. And I was like, I guess, like, sure. So I like texted Joe Brook, and I was like, hey Joe, like, I don't know if you have any idea who I am, but my name's Nathan. Like, I wanna go try this trick on Unitas. And he was like, I'm gonna call you in 15 minutes. And I was like,
okay.
Now I'm like nervous. I'm like, dude, fucking Joe Brook's gonna call me in like 15 minutes. This is crazy. And he calls me, he's like, hey Nathan, like, what's up? Like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Spokane. He's like, oh, Spokane. Cool, man, cool. He's like, so you want to go do the Unitas sign? And I was like, yeah, I think I got it. And he was just like, dude, nobody's ever done the Unitas sign. And he's like, I'm super down to shoot it. Like, I'll meet you there at 7. And I was like, okay, 7 o'clock. It's a date. And then some time passes. It's right about 7 o'clock. And he's like, Nathan, I got to take care of my kids. We're going to have to do it tomorrow, right? So now I have to sleep on it. You know, I was all hyped. I was like, oh, I'm going to go do this 7 o'clock. Now I'm sleeping on it.
Damn.
The next day we go out, 7 o'clock rolls around. I pull up to the spot, or Joe texts me. This is how I figured out it was called Magic 5. Because he was like, I'll meet you at Magic 5 at 7 o'clock. And I was just like, can you send me the pin? I was like, I have no idea what Magic 5 is. And he's like, Nathan, that's the spot you want to skate. And I was like, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Like, yes, I'll meet you
Classic,
there at 7 o'clock. We met up there, and honestly, like for me, skateboarding is really hard. It's really hard. Like I cannot.
It's hard for everybody.
It's hard for. There's some people out there where it's not hard.
You're
like,
not even stand on the shit.
But like, for me, it's difficult. Every trick I try, I have an ongoing joke where it's like every trick I try is the hardest trick I've ever tried in my life, no matter what it is. But I'm actually putting effort into it. It's difficult. But for some reason, I was just like able to do this trick like really quick. Like I was probably in and out of the spot in like 15 minutes. And it was like I nose slid it, just nose slide in like 4 tries. And then I did a nose slide and then like tuck knee out. That's what like the photo was of. And I did that in like, I want to say like 10 tries or something like that. And I was blown away. Like when me and Sebastian were leaving the spot, I was just like, dude, like we're already out of here. I was like, it's like 7:30. You know, it was wild. And Joe was like, yo, Nathan, like if you ever want to freaking shoot something like that again, like you have my number. And I've met up with him a couple more times and shot some stuff with him. And, you know, hopefully I'll keep shooting with him every time I go down to Portland. Joe's a really cool guy, super nice human. But yeah, it's just after a while, like that photo was like sitting out there and I knew he had it and I knew he was hyped on it. It's like after I landed it, he was like, Nathan, like I can see this on like the contents page. And I was like, don't go getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
I was like, Whoa. But then like a year passed, like that he had that photo. I texted him and I was just like, hey, Joe, like, because I had the footage and I wanted to put the footage out. I was like, hey, Joe, like, do you still have that photo? Like, I know we're planning on putting out the footage soon and I don't want to like, it's like you don't put out the footage before a photo in skateboarding. Like normally you like give a hint of like the photo and then people are like, wait, what?
What was
like,
he doing? Okay,
you know,
yeah.
like he's flying off this sign and he's like grabbing his board, like, you know, it creates kind of a mystery to it. And then the footage comes out and then people are like, oh, you know, that's what he did. That's insane. So I was like telling him, I was like, oh, we're trying to put the footage out. And I think that maybe like, he was telling me, he was like, oh, Nathan, like I've tried to push for it, like to get in the mag, but it's just gotten bumped off of the contents page, like every time I've brought it up. And I was like, oh, like, don't even worry about it. Like we'll go out and shoot more photos. And if something works out, something works out. I'm not gonna like pressure you or anything. And then fast forward to just November, Thrasher of this last year, and I get the text from Jeremy that I made it on the contents page, and it was just a full circle moment.
Damn, yeah.
It was wild.
It's like a dream realized, yeah.
It was insane.
Being in a magazine you just like grew up reading.
Like, yeah, like
It's crazy.
I never thought I'd be in there, let alone on the contents page. It was insane. It was by far like my greatest accomplishment in skateboarding so far.
Hell yeah.
So
That's
very
awesome.
proud of that.
Well, thank you for telling us that story. It's fucking sick.
Hey,
a great story.
I got plenty of stories. I got a bunch of stories.
Hell yeah. So you got quite a few sponsors. You're speaking on some of them, Space Program.
Space Program. Yeah.
And Tactics.
Tactics.
Vans.
Just started writing for
Okay.
Tactics, yep.
Nice, okay.
Vans.
Vans shoes. Yeah.
Vans. That's a sick one as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that.
That's iconic, yeah.
Iconic, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this podcast is all about, man. It's like, I feel like everyone could be an icon if they just believe in themselves kind of deal. So it's
Definitely.
It's truly, you just like chase your dream and you're doing exactly what you want to do. And dude, yeah, represented by a brand that, dude, yeah, Vans shoes, it's mad iconic. It's sick. Ace Trucks, are they local or?
Ace Trucks is like, no, they're like,
No, okay.
they're based down in California, but they've been around for a
okay.
long time. And honestly, super dope sponsor. They have
Yeah,
the
that's
best trucks
sick.
too.
Hell yeah.
Loose trucks save lives.
These trucks save lives. I
Save
like
lives.
it.
Yes.
That's funny. Bones Bearings, is some of, I'm just naming some of them off.
Bones
Love,
bearings. Honestly, like that's, so like my first skateboard I ever got, maybe not the first skateboard I ever got, because I had a couple boards, but the first like legitimate board that my parents like got me for Christmas. They like knew nothing about building a complete skateboard. So they just went and balled out on like everything expensive on this board because they had no idea. And I'm sure somebody was upselling them a lot.
Yeah, it's like he needs this.
And he's like, they're like,
the
he
Bones
needs
bearings.
the bone Swiss bearings
Okay.
in his wheels. And they were like, they're still like $60 bearings, like to this day,
yeah.
which is like kind of expensive, but like they are the best bearing like ever. So it's like, they'll last you like, I ride my bone Swiss for like 2 or 3 years. Like,
Oh, damn.
You don't have to
Okay.
like switch them out and they stay good. But
It's good to
my
know.
first legit board I had bone Swiss. And if you told me that later on down the line I would get bone Swiss for free, I would be like, you're lying, dude.
No
Like, it's
way,
like,
yes.
honestly, like
Wow.
one of my favorite sponsors is Bones Bearings.
Really?
Shout out to
That's
Bones
awesome.
Bearings.
Yeah, shout out to Bone Bearings. That's sick, man. That's super sick. And then Roughneck Hardware. That's the last one I
Roughneck.
got, yeah.
Orbs Wheels.
Orbs Wheels, yep. So who was your first sponsor?
My first sponsor I actually had was Pistol Board
Okay,
Shop
nice.
here in town. Josh gave me my first opportunity. We were, there was an S game of skate, and I was just the little kid that was friends with everybody on Pistol, and I got like 3rd place, and Josh was like, you want to ride for the shop? And I was like,
Damn.
absolutely, dude.
That's a fucking dream right there, yeah.
Shout out to Josh, who's like, gave me my first opportunity. I love Josh. I still have a whole lot of love for Pistol.
Hell
It's
yeah.
my family. All my friends still ride for Pistol, so
Oh, okay.
you know, shop
super
at
dope.
Pistol, people.
Yeah, right? Definitely. And I saw you on Happy to Be Here podcast, right?
Yep.
Yeah, how was that experience? Those are the homies.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are like so fun to be around. It's like a very like inviting environment, and like I look forward to going back on there as many times as they'll have me.
Hell yeah.
They're really good people.
Yeah, they are. Those are the homies. Shout out Happy to Be Here for sure. So as far as the rest of the year goes, you got any events going on? Or you said you were traveling a little bit for the film, but any sort of like competition or?
You know, I don't really do a whole lot of contests. I'm not really a contest skater. I feel like I'd be a very boring person to watch in a skateboard contest, actually. I don't know, like just, it's not that I'm not consistent and could like put together a run. I feel like I could, but I don't know. Contests to me, I'm just, there's people that are built for that stuff, and I'm just like, I'd rather go out in the streets and just drive myself crazy trying to get like a really hard trick or like do a line or something like that, and then create videos surrounding just my skating. But I would love to do like a Tampa event. Like Tampa does like Tampa Am, Tampa Pro, and those are like kind of like the historic skateboard contest that's like, you gotta at least do it once. So like I would love to go do that at some point in time. I think Tampa Pro just happened, so I'd have to go to the one next year. But
2024.
2024 Tampa Pro.
Looking bright, yeah. Hell yeah.
Catch me there.
Right? Be sick.
I'll go with maybe we can get some tactics people to go down there.
Be sick. Hell yeah.
Right, so I'm talking about my board setup. This is kind of like a bad example of my board setup right now, because like all my like sponsor stickers are scratched off, but like this is my board right here. This is right now I'm trying out an 8.25. Normally I skate an 8.5, but the smaller board, I can just flip it a lot easier. So got my board. This is a tactics sticker. You can't really tell because I've done a lot of nose slides. My Vans, my Ace trucks, Roughneck. This is Seek, like a skateboard camp down in Oregon I go to a lot. I should probably like hold this up because I'm like pointing at it under a table. Bones bearings. I got my Ace trucks right here. These are the lows with the hollow kingpin. These are 55s. The AF1, so they changed their size a bit. My 53 millimeter orbs wheels right here, and my Bones bearings, Bones Swiss with the shields popped. Gotta pop the shields because I want to hear my bearings. You know, I don't want it to be quiet. I don't want to be a ghost out there on the road. Got my nice little thin racing stripe across the side here. It gives you, you know, extra 5 horsepower.
There you go. Flippability. Nice.
It just looks
a little cleaner.
Looks neat. Looks neat.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my board setup.
That's nice, man.
Right there.
Oh yeah.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I probably should have like set up a new board if I was gonna do this.
Oh, it's all good. No, this is
original.
There you go. Yeah, it's authentic. Skating it up, man. I mean, what can you say? A lot of nose slides.
A lot of nose slides. I've been skating a lot of curbs because my foot hurts. So
okay. How'd that happen?
Like,
did you injure it skating or?
So I have this kind of like reoccurring problem with my foot. Like I have like really high arches, and sometimes when I land primo, like when your board's like this, that's what we call it, primo. You like land on your board, that will just shut down my foot. And like I just landed primo really hard right underneath my big toe. And I have like a bone spur or like fucking arthritis in like the conjoining point between like your metatarsal and like whatever this is up here. Like that crest. And like that's just like jammed into each other, and then it's just like inflamed for like, it's normally inflamed for like a week or two. And it's just like really hard to skate. I can't push, I can't pop. Like it's just really annoying. But that happened, what's today? Saturday? Last Thursday. So it's been like a little over a week. And it's gotten a lot better, but it's happened probably, I want to say like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years. And it's just really debilitating. One time I got it, and it was right before I went on my first tactics trip. And I had the same problem. We were on a Seattle trip and I landed funny and my foot started acting up. And I was like, shit, like I have a tactics trip like in a week. Like I have to rest to not skate that whole time. And then I show up on my tactics trip. Like we go to Seek Skateboard Camp, that place that I have the sticker on my board. And I like rolled in. Like first trick, I had my backpack on and everything, and notoriously I can never skate well with a backpack on. I like roll in and I like just try and do a fly out trick that's out of a quarter pipe, just messing around, and I like halfway roll my ankle that's like already bad. And now I'm like, like I just did myself in. Like it's my first tactics trip. This is a terrible impression, like this is bad. And we like kept skating and I was just like, like eventually like adrenaline came into play and I was like, okay, like it hurts, but I can still skate. And then I think like the day after we went and skated this DIY spot. It was like a kicker over like some dirt. And I like did a pop shove it and I like kicked my board, like soccer kicked my board, and it hurt so bad. Like it was the worst burning pain. And then I like started walking and I was like, wait a second. I was like, my foot's like feeling good.
Fixed
and, like,
it.
I knocked my foot.
Smashed it back into place.
Like back into perfect alignment.
Alignment,
like,
right? Yeah.
Like my foot's hurting right now and I really want to like soccer kick my board, but I just don't want to, I don't want to gamble with
Fonzie,
trying to find
your leg back
the perfect position.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you were going skating today. You usually go Albee or?
Yeah, Albee's definitely the best skate park in Spokane.
Okay,
People, let's get it together. Let's figure this out. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the new downtown park. It's like really slippery. There's a lot of little rocks there. And it's also like really hard for more than 2 people to skate it like at one time. Like if you have a big group of people, you gotta be very good about taking turns, But Albee, it's like so big and it's so spread out and there's so much stuff to skate there. It's like you could have like 10, 15 people skating all at once, like at Albee. So it's like, why not just go to Albee? It's also closer to my house. Downside of Albee, one thing, disclaimer, whatever the weather is, it's always worse at Albee.
It's colder there.
If it's windy, it's super windy at Albee. If it's drizzling, it's pouring.
Snowing over there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's the weather's always worse over there, but it is the best park.
Is it a newer park or was it made?
I think it was built in
recently?
2007 or 8, something like
so
that.
It's been there a minute.
I think it's pretty old.
Okay.
Like it's probably closer to 20 years old than 10 years old, I will say.
What are some of your favorite parks to hit? Maybe outside of Spokane.
Favorite parks are Joe Albee, number 1 seat. Favorite park. If I wouldn't trade it for the world. Nice. I like Rocks Hill Skate Park in Seattle. That place is really fun. It's kind of like built like a street league park. Blacksburg Skate Park in Virginia. Another one that's like odd and probably other people wouldn't like it as much, but I loved that park. That park was so sick. Gosh, I don't really like travel for like skate parks, but yeah, I don't know. The Barracks was really sick. That was like a really cool park. Like everything was perfect and like super nice.
Super clean, well taken care of.
Very well taken care of. It was really slippery in there though.
Oh, sure.
Very slippery.
Was it indoor? Was it a warehouse?
Yeah, it's all indoor and it's like massive. It's like a warehouse, but like everything's skatable.
In SoCal?
That was really sick. That was in Southern California.
Cool.
I went down there and did the Barracks video. It was tight.
That's badass.
I don't know, those are some of my favorite places. But Albee, what's it called? Rocks Hill? I think it's called Rocks Hill. I hope it's called Rockset. And
we'll correct you with the
Blacksburg Skate
comments.
Park. Boom. Check them out. Travel for those.
There you go.
I do want to check out Rhodes Park in Boise. I haven't been to Boise, but Rhodes is like this giant, it's like a under the freeway type situation.
Boise,
skate park that's massive. They'll hold like X Games qualifiers there because like the transition section, I guess, is like super good. And yeah, I definitely want to check. That's on the bucket list for go down to Boise. Not that far away, not too much of a venture, but definitely want to go check that out.
Okay.
And then like in Portland, another one that I'd like to mention is like in Portland, it's not necessarily a skate park, but there is a place called The Courts. And then like people bring like a bunch of ramps there, and like they have like a bunch of stuff that just people built all on like a double wide like tennis court on like the college campus down there. That's like really sick. It's like you're like kind of in the downtown area already, and you can just go skate this stuff. And then when you're done, you can just head out and go skate downtown. It's pretty sick.
Heck yeah, that's in Portland, you said?
Yeah, that's in Portland.
Nice. You'd mentioned X Games and like Street League. Like, what are your thoughts on Street League?
I think it's like,
it's kind of growing.
Honestly, like some of the most entertaining stuff, like to see people do the tricks that they're doing like right then and there. And it's like the most insane tricks. Like
it looks like a game of skate, honestly. Like on the video.
Yeah,
you know
like Skate 3. Like,
yeah, Skate 3, exactly.
Like you'll see,
like they're just like not falling.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Like when you see
Crazy.
like Yuto and like Nyjah and like freaking Vincent Mailu, like just going in doing like the craziest stuff. Braden Hoban, like it's insane. Like if you told me that like somebody someday was gonna be like nollie 270 backside blunt sliding a handrail first try in a contest, I'd be like, that's not even possible, you know.
Yeah.
But like people are that good. And
pushing the envelope now, yeah.
It's really insane.
It is. It's nuts. What's your favorite trick? What's like the hardest trick that you've ever, in your opinion, the hardest trick to land? You said every single one is the hardest.
Every single one. My favorite trick, just like a trick that I do every day, is a tray flip.
Nice, yeah.
But the hardest trick I've ever, every trick is the hardest trick. But
I feel that. Yeah.
I don't know. There's been a couple different battles that were long and difficult, but I'd say the two hardest things I've ever done on my skateboard are I did a board slide nollie laser flip off like the top of a bench. That was like difficult because like I'd never seen that done before, and I was just like, I guess I gotta like figure it out, and somehow made it work. But I like went there, I want to say like 2 or 3 times. First time I went there, I like rolled my ankle really bad just because I'm like waiting in the air for my board to be done flipping, and I was like, oh, I got it, and then it's like, roll your ankle, you're done. And then I wouldn't say it's the hardest trick I've ever done, but it was definitely one of my favorite tricks I've ever done. Was a tray flip dark slide on Blubba in New York. And like we went there we had a New York, Philadelphia trip for space program. And when we go on like bigger trips with like a lot of people, I kind of want to like plan out tricks that I want to try, just cause like everybody's kind of fighting for time and fighting for spots, and like, oh, we're only going to be here for so long. But Blubba's kind of a spot that like everybody could skate. So that was nice. But I was like, I knew I wanted to tray flip dark slide Blubba while we were there. And we went there the first day. It was like nighttime. I was trying it at night, and I got really close, like really early on. But and I just kept trying it. And that's another thing. It's like one thing I will say is I think I'm more stubborn than I am talented.
Like, persistent, right?
Like, yeah, like I never want to stop. Like if I think I can do it in my heart, yeah, I'm just gonna gas myself out. And normally I'll like land tricks when I'm like at the brink of exhaustion. Like something in my body is just like, fine, we'll give it to him. Like, I'll just roll away. But
that's a good point. It's like never give up on that shit.
Yeah, but we're skating at night, and I was like getting to the point of exhaustion, and Sebastian like came up to me and was like, stop it, Nathan. He's like, let's give this trick some justice, you know? He's like, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll try it again during the day. Hopefully you can land it, because tomorrow's our last day in New York, and then we're going to Philadelphia. And I was like, shit. So I got all this pressure on me. I'm like, fuck. I'm like laying in bed, and I'm like, I have to go tray flip dark slide blubba tomorrow. I didn't do it today. I hope I can do it tomorrow. All this stuff. It was pressure. And then we get there, we get to Blubba, and I'm like, it's like a hot ass day. Like the sun is just beaming down on me. And there's like a film crew at Blubba, because I film like a lot of like Law and Order, or like NCIS or whatever, like all in that area. And like, I see this film crew, and I like walk up to the dude, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, we're filming blah, blah, blah. We're on lunch right now though. And I was like, oh, how long are you guys gonna be on lunch? He's like, probably like 45 minutes. And I was like, oh shit. So he's like, yeah, so if you wanna like try your trick on this thing, he's like, you probably got like 45 minutes.
20
and
minutes.
now I'm like, are you joking? I was like, dude, I thought I'd have like a good, 3-hour chunk of time. Cause battles can take well over, 3 hours is not even like the longest I've ever tried a trick.
Yeah.
So I was like, now I have 45 minutes. I was like, great, so let's get to it. And I was not even close for like the first 25 minutes. I couldn't even stand up on it. And I was just like very frustrated, very annoyed. I don't like feeling pressure. I don't like feeling rushed. Like some
like
people,
external pressure, like you like to pressure yourself, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want it from others.
I just want to have like open, free time to just figure out what I'm doing. Like some people, when like security or the cops show up, they can like turn it on and like land it right there. Me, I feel rushed, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm not even gonna try it anymore. Like,
makes sense. Yeah, you want to give it your best effort.
Yeah, I just want to. That stuff is just like an extra layer onto what already is difficult.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't like that stuff. But
so you're 10 minutes in or what?
So I'm like 25 minutes in, I'm not even close. And I just kept trying and trying and trying, and I was just exhausted, and it was so hot. And like I could see the patch of shade getting closer and closer to me. And I was just like, oh, I really hope I could land it while I can stand in the shade. And I ended up landing it before the shade ever got to me. And it was just, it was such a sigh of relief. I was just like, and I landed it better than I thought, like with a trick, like a tray flip dark slide, like I thought I would like have a bit of sketch factor on the rollout, but I landed it even better than I ever imagined. And it was just like the cherry on top to the trip. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome, man.
Freaking, yeah, that's probably like, it wasn't like the longest battle in all my skate tricks. And like,
what's your longest battle, would you say?
I'd say I did, so at Albee across the field, there's these plastic benches. We call them butter benches because they slide like butter. They always grind. But there's these benches. It's like a bench and then like a gap, like maybe this big, and then like another bench. I like ollied up on the bottom, ollied out, front boarded the top of the second bench, and then I kick flipped out to regular. That took, I want to say like 5 trips. Like every time I went, it was like 3 hours at a time, 2 to 3 hours at a time at least. And on the 5th trip, Justin, the dude that I film with, shout out to you, Justin. He was pretty much like telling me, he's like, this is the last time we're ever going, Nathan. He's like, I'm not going with you ever again. He's like, we spent so much time on this trick. And it's like, you either got it or you don't, my guy.
Damn.
Like, he's like, we're not going back.
You either got it or you don't.
Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. So like we went and we're like 3 hours in, like I'm freaking tired. The camera's about to die. And I land like the sketchiest one ever. But like everybody around me was so stoked because they knew how freaking hard I had worked for it. And I was just like, in skateboarding, like when you land something really good, there's like a deep sense of satisfaction, and like that's what you keep on chasing. But like when you don't land, when you've spent all this time on something and you don't land it the way you want, it's almost like you feel nothing, you know?
Yeah.
You feel absolutely nothing. And I was feeling nothing. Like I was stoked because my friends were stoked for me. But deep down inside, I was like,
it wasn't it.
That's what I worked for all this time.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of hours.
So Justin was like, oh, there's like 1% left on the camera. Let me film you roll up. Cause he was just stationary, just filming it, fisheye. And he's like, oh, like I'll grab my board and I'm gonna film you rolling up. And I was like, I'm gonna try it again. Like if you're gonna film me and there's 1% on the camera, I'm gonna fucking try it. So the try that's like actually in the video is me, like him filming me rolling up, and I did 2 in a row. And I just, after all that time, after like 10, 15 hours worth of trying this trick,
Damn.
I just weaseled out 2 in a row and I landed it.
Weaseled
perfect.
out. That's funny.
So
That's
yeah,
wild.
that was probably like my longest a trick has ever taken me. But then, you know, we could backtrack and we could be like kickflip. Well, it took me like 6 months to do a kickflip, you know?
Yeah, it's a little different.
Like a tray flip took me years. Took me like 3 years to do a tray flip. So,
Damn, yeah.
you know, I don't know. But stuff that's like actual tricks that I was trying in the moment, I'd say that was my longest battle.
That's craziness, yeah. And that laser flip story too, how you said it's not the longest battle, but just, was that featured in a magazine? You said that was photographed in New York at Blubba?
Blubba was in, I believe the magazine's called Mess Mag.
Okay.
It was like I had an ad for Space Program in that for the tray flip dark slide. And then the board slide nollie laser flip that I brought up was like kind of the first thing that ever got me on, they do this show called Skate Line, like Thrasher. It's kind of like the news for skateboarding, but it's just like a silly show. That was the first time I ever got on that. And I don't know, I think that like created a lot of momentum, like for me, like, oh, like I can do a trick and I can be from Spokane, and like, it's not necessarily like limiting me, like because we live in an age of skateboarding where you can just post stuff online and people can like get super excited about it. That was like the first time I had that realization that I was like, oh, like maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's
it's really
why it's
blowing
like really
up.
important to me.
Yeah.
That trick specifically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, skateboarding, it didn't used to, you know, it was all magazines and stuff before, like videos, you know, people sending their demo tapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like
so it's
really
changed.
interesting how it's changed over time. Like now, like some people will just post whatever they want, just straight to Instagram. It's like a lot of these people, like if they would just save those clips and just like film it with an actual camera and put it into a video part, would gain like a whole lot of credibility. But like just the instant gratification is like the downfall of it all. Like people just they want it and they want it right now, you know?
Yeah.
They don't want to wait.
The patience, yeah.
Like, yeah, patience is a virtue.
For sure, yeah.
Very, very important. But hey, I get it too. I fall to it all the time, you know? Like,
Yeah, same here.
I film something cool, like even at the park, like some people talk about like people that grew up, there's like people a little bit older than me, but people that grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s skateboard era, great era of skateboarding. Like even doing a trick that's like really hard or new or like hasn't been seen before at the skate park. Like people talk about like maybe you shouldn't even post that, because like what if you just went out into the streets and the first place you did it was the streets, and then like everybody's like, whoa, like I've never seen that before and it's in the streets, which gives it like a deep sense of like legitimacy. Because like if you do something that's hasn't been done, and we can't even distinguish what has and hasn't been done, because you know there's millions of skateboarders all over the world. Plenty of people are really good. Maybe that was done back in 1999 by so and so. You know,
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't
not
know.
documented.
There's like a lot of like, what is an NBD? We don't know. You know, so maybe you should hold those and like not even show them, because like the shock factor of like you unveiling that in a video in the streets would be like super crazy. So I don't know. There's like a lot of different weird things to do with skateboarding, but honestly, I think the most important thing is just have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And like if you're doing that, if you're having fun, you're skating with your friends and you're enjoying what you're doing, you're doing it right.
You're doing it right.
You're doing it right.
If you're enjoying anything that you do, I feel like
exactly.
for sure that's the point.
You're doing it right.
That's awesome. Have you invented any tricks? Speaking of, I know you said that like people might have done it before, but anything that you like made yourself that
I mean, I've done tricks that I haven't like seen other people do before. I wouldn't say like I invented them. It's more of like skateboarding a lot of the time is innovation and not invention. Like you're taking the base of something and then you're like either adding a new twist to it, or like you're just taking what has already been done, but you're taking it up a rotation, or
expanding
flipping
on it,
it one more time, or stuff like that. So I wouldn't say like I invented stuff, but
no tricks you've named, you've coined it.
So yeah, no, you're not coining anything. Like
the Vitale slide.
If you're doing a trick, that's actually a really funny point to bring up. Like if you, let's say you did invent a trick, you're not gonna name the trick. I feel like somebody else. Just like a nickname, like you're not coming up with your own nickname. Like somebody's got to grace you with the nickname.
It's a blessing,
I feel like that's the same thing with tricks. I feel like somebody else has to call it something, and then like if that catches on, like there's people out there that have tricks named after them, like the Bennett grind, or like even like a salad grind. It was invented by this guy named Eric Dressen. And I called it the salad grind because salad dressing.
Yeah, salad,
like,
dressing, huh?
Like I'm sure people came up with like the names for it. I'm sure they weren't sitting there like, oh dude, I just invented this grind. It's called the fucking Bennett grind, Like my name's Matt Bennett. No, like people gotta bestow that upon the trick. So I don't know.
Yeah, skate culture, man. I love it because it's so underground, but now it's like, it's mainstream, it's kind of commercialized, and it's on ESPN, and like Rob
the
Dyrdek
Olympics now, which is insane. Like, and it's changed a lot ever since I was a kid. Like, it felt like this really big thing when I was a kid, just because it was like my favorite thing in the world, but like looking back on it now, I realize how small like skateboarding was, and like it's grown and like gained so much momentum, and like the way that it's looked at now too. Like I'm sure like when I was a kid and I was growing up and I said I wanted to be a pro skateboarder when I grew up, like people laughed at me. Like teachers thought I was stupid.
Yeah.
Like when I wrote that in my 6th grade like yearbook, like, oh, I'm gonna be a pro skater. Like I'm sure there was like 10 other kids that wrote, I want to be a pro skateboarder too, just because like it was a cool thing.
But you're stubborn though,
But I'm stubborn, and
so
I'm gonna
get
make it
done.
happen.
Yeah.
But no, like changed a lot. And now kids like growing up today, if they said, hey, I want to be a pro skateboarder, like, I mean, hey, like you could go be an Olympian and be a skateboarder. You could go, win a bunch of contests and take that route. You could go film video parts. You could go do this, do that. You could get legitimate sponsors that pay you a lot of money every month.
What you love,
Like there's ways of going about it. And I mean, it gets easier and it gets harder, like it gets easier because we have all this access to it, and we have like the internet, and you can put yourself out there. But it gets harder because as time goes on, skateboarding, increases in level, and good skateboarding will always be good skateboarding, but the absolute pinnacle of skateboarding is only just getting higher and higher and higher. The rails are getting bigger, the tricks are getting harder. And you're getting hurt along the way. That's guaranteed. You can't get out of that. You can't get out of that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of, have you broke any bones?
I have Never broken a bone
Nice.
skateboarding.
I love that.
I've broken bones, but I normally hurt myself doing unrelated skateboard things. Like when I broke my wrist, I was riding my bicycle. But I mean, I've rolled my ankles plenty of times. I've tore like the tendon underneath my pinky toe. My pinky toe just hangs out like this up here. Doesn't go down anymore. So I only have like 4 functioning toes on my left foot. Should really get that fixed one day. Nathan, future Nathan, if you're watching this, think about that.
Yeah, right. That's good. Does it hurt at all, or does it affect your skating? No?
I'd say I'm so used to it that it doesn't really affect my skating too much, but like if we really broke it down, like my balance can't be that great, you know, like as much as you think a pinky toe does nothing, it probably does a little something. That's as far as like balance when it comes to like leaning on the far edge of your foot. But I don't know. I'm not very good at switch. Like my switch flips and stuff, I'm sure get debilitated by that. But I don't know. I don't want to make any excuses, but
no, I totally get it. Injuries. I mean, that's impressive that you haven't really had like serious broken bones and stuff in that long of time.
I think that's the key to like a long skateboard career would be avoiding injuries. Like people like P-Rod and Nyjah and like all these people that are like super, super great skateboarders that have had super long careers in skateboarding. Like pretty sure Paul Rodriguez, his like first big injury was like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And like Nyjah, his like first major injury was like, again, like a year ago. So it's like they've gone all this time and like it will come though. It's coming. Like you don't know when it's coming and you don't know how bad it's going to be, but it's coming. That's kind of just like an inevitable fact.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something you have to be okay with when you skateboard. I feel like it's like a lot of these people, when I was growing up, the kids that I was around, they would quit skateboarding because they're like, I got hurt too many times. And it's like, well, what do you expect to happen? Like you're standing on a piece of wood with wheels on it. Like, you know, like you're gonna slip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna skin your elbows, your knees, you might break something. You're gonna roll your ankle. I'd say that's like a big thing. If you're a skater and you're like growing up and you get past that first rolled ankle. When you're a kid, your ankles are a bit, you know, flexible. But like when you get back past that first really bad ankle roll and you still want to skateboard, you'll probably skateboard for a while. But you know, you're gonna get hurt. It's just, you pay to play.
Pay to play, yeah.
Pay to play.
That's a good point. Yeah, as you get older, it just gets harder too. As far as, do you do any other extreme sports? Like snowboard or?
No, I don't snowboard. I don't S-board. But
Nice.
I like Austin is my really good friend. Rides for Space Program too. And he's like the best snowboarder like ever. And I would really love to like go up to the mountain and see him snowboard in person, but like I just never really got into snowboarding. I went like a couple times when I was like 10 to 12 years old, just tried it out. And I had fun. Like I could like grind and like I could do grabs and spin and stuff, but like never really like wanted to expand too much on that. I was just really obsessed with skateboarding. That's all I really wanted to do.
That makes sense. Yeah, they're
So-
super different.
I did ride a bike for a while. Like I had a lot of fun, like building dirt jumps, like riding a bike when I was younger, but like I stopped doing that, sold my bike a long time ago. And yeah, other than skating, I really just do my homework. I go to school for graphic design, and that's kind of like my other little outlet thing. But yeah, just my life revolves around skateboarding, my family, my girlfriend, and school. Really, it's like my friends. Like,
Nice.
it's really all it involves.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a good life.
It's a great life. Like I'm not complaining. I love my life.
What school do you go to?
I go to Clark actually, so it's in
Okay.
Vancouver. But since I learn graphic design. It's really easy to just do all that stuff online. So I have been able to do all of it like remotely, which is really great.
Nice, yeah.
Because I don't have to like show up any place. I can just prop open my computer, hop on a Zoom call, and figure it out from there.
Nice. Heck yeah. Let's see, what other shops are there in town? I know there's quite a few. Paradigm,
Pistol.
What are some others? Is there any other main ones?
I'd say those are the two main ones.
I used to go to the Eggers Meats and Seafoods. You know that one? The guys that owned Eggers, it's like Meats and Seafoods, but they had a board shop too. And the guy had like a skate park in his backyard.
What?
You're not familiar with that? Okay.
No.
Damn, I'm gonna have to link you up with these guys.
I know we've had some over time, like Spirit turned into Paradigm. And then like there used to be this one on the north side that was called Let It Ride. And they sold me a warped board. How dare you people?
They're out of business now though, right?
They're out of business because they're selling warped boards.
Yeah, exactly.
If you owned Let It Ride and you're watching this, my bad. But I'm salty.
Yeah,
I was like 13. You sold me a warped board.
Damn.
That's despicable.
It's despicable.
Anyways, now there's like places that sell skateboards. I wouldn't call them like a skate shop. You know?
That makes sense.
Like Shred, like on, what was that, Division? They sell skateboards, but I wouldn't call them like a skate shop.
That makes sense, yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, Paradigm and Pistol, you know, always important. Go support your local skate shops, people.
For sure.
Buy stuff from Paradigm, Pistol. I have to say as well, go buy stuff from Tactics.
Tactics,
like,
yeah, right? Shout
really
out to sponsors.
too.
That's important. Yeah.
That's important. I don't want, you know, like, I want to shout out, you know, the people that have, you know, helped me out along the way. But I do have to say, buy stuff from Tactics.
Definitely.
My dogs.
My dogs. That's what's up, man. I think we got some good stuff. I appreciate you coming through.
Yes.
Pod. Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.
I had a great time.
Some good stories and
Down
stuff.
to,
I hope to have you again.
Plenty more stories to come back.
Hell yeah. Sounds good. Well, appreciate you. It's a wrap.